You guys got me up making videos from the dead. Well, my Type R here. We're rebirthing this video again. How's it like owning a Celica in 2025? I'm not going to be using my examples. These are going to be my girlfriend examples. She's owned Celicas for a longer time than I have, ironically enough. We both started owning Celicas at the same time, roughly, but she got inspired by me, and she actually had one and had another. Ironically enough, that's what love does to you, I guess. And I'm just going to update this video for what it is. So, in 2025, owning a Celica is a little bit rough. And what I can say about this is that these cars are getting a lot older, so the oil burning problems are starting to appear a lot more. But what are people doing to fix this problem? Well, there's a couple choices that you have that's helped out my girlfriend's situation by a little tiny bit. Number one, you can do the Valvoline Restore and Protect for one oil change only and see if that helps with your situation. So on these Celicas, it's very common for the oil galleries on the piston to get clogged, causing the oil burning problem because the holes weren't drilled too big. I think it's cap, but I've never disassembled one of these engines, so I just take it for a grain of salt for what it is. I think it's generally because the people that own these cars are horrible at keeping up at oil changes when they first get them. When you start a oil routine, it's always good to be on time and using good quality oil, not using conventional oil only of the cheapest brand that you find. STP from AutoZone or Fram's oil from Advanced Auto Parts, which I'm surprised they even use Fram oil because they got recalled. I think I was at my Napa store in a certain location and they had a little pamphlet up that was talking about how the Fram filters now again have cardboard at the bottom of them, and it just never stops. It's a money hungry industry. Anyhow, clean the engine once, and then not only that, what you want to do too is use a high mileage oil. High mileage oils, what they provide with the Celica specifically, and why they love them so much is the additives. The additives swell up the seals within the engine. So the rear main seals, you have the valve seals, you have the valve cover gaskets, all these little gaskets that swell up to avoid leaks, and the additives in the high mileage oil not only do that, but they help extend protection too. That's why I love high mileage oil. Always recommend people to use the Castrol Green. That one is a synthetic blend, which is it's no longer conventional. Don't use conventional is what I'm trying to say. Castrol Green is your best bet when it comes to these cars. If you have the 1ZZ. We're just talking about the 1ZZ today. If you guys want a 2ZZ video, I'd have to find somebody else on it. But this is based on my experience and my girlfriend's experience with Celicas. So that's number one, is doing that now before your oil gets burning a lot worse. And she only has 140K, which blows my mind at that. Second thing, body kits are being harder to find year after year after year. If you see something you like, grab it, no matter what the price it is. For the TRD kit, for the Tsunami kit, is just going to get rarer and rarer to find. Good prices for this stuff. I think personally the TRD spoiler, if you find it for $200, good price. $300, good price. If you can find a whole trunk from a junkyard with the spoiler, and I was able to do this, I found it for $80. Really got lucky. She has that spoiler now. It just has to get painted. Side skirts, $150, $200. From bumper, you can easily see it for like $400 for a genuine one or $500 for a genuine one. Whole body kit, you're going to spend about $1,000, $900. But the goal to this is to keep searching. Be persistent, be consistent. With these body kit parts, they're rare, so you want to be consistent, looking every day or at least every week to make sure that you are finding good prices. So that's number two, is just these body kits. As far as availability for parts, it's always been the same. You have your Corolla, you have your Matrices, you have your Chevy Prisms, you have these cars, crazy Matrixes. They're all over the place. You don't have to worry about any parts for these cars for quite a bit. But as far as your Celica parts, like strictly Celica, like your Celica seats, your steering wheels come out of Corolla, so that's not matter too much. Your dashboard pieces, your HVAC pieces, these are going to get harder to find too. So you want to make sure that if you see a parts car online, grab whatever piece you need, buy it, try to get it for as low as possible. and just keep on having little stacks of parts over time, because I'm realizing what's coming now is your little HVAC slider things are starting to become brittle and they break over time, and it's dangerous too. Dangerous meaning like if you can't find them, then you're kind of left with a little janky piece. And I like my cars stock how they are. So like if I don't have any leftover parts, then I'm freaking out and stuff like that. Availability is everything when it comes to these cars. If you're looking for body panels, again, strictly Celica stuff. So you always have to keep an eye out for that. Trying to think of any other bits and pieces. Think that's really about it. The only thing that I see different right now in 2025 versus back then, Celicas have always been the same price, um, year after year. I don't think they've really gone up crazy. I think they've been considerably reasonable. Now, do I think that people have absolutely gone nuts? Yeah, most definitely. People have gone nuts over these cars. I see a lot more Celicas around now than what I was used to back then. It's definitely gotten a lot more popular. And not only that, but the Celica's coming out next year too. That's absolutely banger news. Um, but the real question is it going to be the 1.5 3-cylinder turbo from the GR Corolla, or is it going to be a hybrid engine? And that's how I started beef. Anyhow, last but not least, when it comes to these cars, the rear control arms, oh, so common, so common. Check your rear control arms. How do you do this? Jack up the car, grab a steel hammer. It can be a house hammer, it can be a sledgehammer, it doesn't matter. Bang on those rear arms. Make sure that your metal is solid. It's more common now than ever that the subframes are just snapping off these things and the control arms are snapping. And what happens is when it snaps, it moves the wheel out. So it kicks the wheel out, making you getting into an accident, stranding you somewhere. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to those rear control arms. Now, if you have a Celica that's clean, thankfully, and you're trying to prevent this, here's the trick. In the back of the control arm, there's a little hole. You want to spray rust preventative in that hole to avoid that crack from starting from the strut tower in the top to the lower part of the arm towards the bolt that holds the knuckle, because that's normally where it starts to crack. After you do that, just make sure you're constantly rinsing the underbody of the car between the seasons, summer, spring, fall, winter. Just make sure you keep on spraying underneath, especially in Connecticut. Salt here is extremely heavy, so you want to make sure that you're rinsing it down and then using rust protectant underneath the car when you're driving it in sandy areas like beaches and stuff, because that salt most definitely triggers the car and the metal's getting weaker. These cars are almost 20 years old, and doing preventative maintenance is super important. Last tip, pro tip, check your oil frequently on these cars. Don't just think it's a Toyota Celica, it's a reliable Toyota. You don't have to check oil. Check your oil weekly. I do that with my Honda, any car that I've owned, because the last thing I want to do is get stranded in the pull district. Oh, no oil. Yeah, it's horrible. You don't want to put yourself in those shoes. So always keep a quart of oil around in your trunk. Keep coolant in your trunk. These are easy stuff that you can do and prepare for these type of situations to avoid them. That's going to be it for today's video. If you can tell, I'm a little bit tired. I was just on a live stream today. I'm trying to live stream every Saturday, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be consistent with that or not. That's going to end it for today's video. I love you guys. And drop a comment below. What's your opinion about this 7th generation Celica? I love mine. I dearly miss mine. I feel like crying right now. Subscribe to the channel. I love you guys, and God loves you too. Peace out.